Is God Is follows two sisters traveling to confront the people responsible for their childhood trauma. But as the story unfolds, it becomes clear that this isn't really about revenge at all. It's about what happens when pain is inherited, when truth is distorted, and when the people who are supposed to protect you are the ones who caused the damage in the first place. The film begins with Racine receiving a letter from her mother, a woman she believed had died in the fire that destroyed their childhood. This immediately disrupts the life Racine and Anaia have built. The letter confirms that their mother is alive and wants to see them. Racine calls her Mother God, not in a religious sense, but because she sees her as the creator of their lives. This name already shows a distorted relationship between parent and child. God isn't distant or spiritual here, but deeply personal and damaged. Racine and Anaia decide to travel across the country to meet her. This opening sets up the idea of creation and abandonment. Calling the Mother God shows how children often see parents as all-powerful figures. But the film immediately suggests that this God is flawed and responsible for suffering. The journey begins as a search for truth, but also for emotional closure. The sisters travel across the country to reach their mother's deathbed. Along the way, we see their bond. They rely on each other completely. Racine is more aggressive and focused, while Anaia is quieter and more emotionally open. The world outside feels distant and uncaring. Their journey isn't just physical, but emotional, as past trauma slowly starts resurfacing. The sisters are physically connected by their scars and emotionally tied by what they went through. The road trip becomes a metaphor for moving deeper into unresolved pain rather than away from it. They finally meet their mother, who is severely injured and dying. She reveals the full truth. The fire wasn't just an accident. Their father attacked her first, choking her unconscious before setting her on fire in front of them. She also explains that she placed them in foster care to protect them from further harm. Then she asks something crucial. She wants them to kill their father so she can finally die in peace. When the twins hesitate, the aides reveal her horrific condition, pushing Racine toward agreement. This is where the film directly challenges the idea of God as a creator and protector. Instead, God is weak, suffering, and morally complicated. The request for revenge introduces the central moral conflict. Is violence justice, or just the continuation of pain? The twins track down Divine, a woman who had a relationship with their father. They meet her son Ezekiel and learn more about their father's history. He abandoned Divine while she was pregnant and never returned. Racine judges Divine for still waiting for a man who hurt her. Divine reacts with anger and throws them out. Before leaving, Racine steals their father's address book. Divine represents self-deception and emotional dependence on abusive people. Her character shows how trauma can trap people in cycles of hope and denial. Racine's reaction shows the opposite extreme. She rejects emotional attachment entirely and replaces it with anger. The stolen address book becomes a symbol of inheritance of violence, passed from one victim to another as a tool for revenge. The sisters visit Chuck Hall, their father's lawyer. He communicates through a whiteboard, showing that something has physically taken his voice. He warns them to stop searching for their father. Then he reveals the truth. Their father ripped out his tongue to silence him. He also tells them their father has started a new family with twin sons. Chuck represents suppressed truth. The fact that he can't speak properly shows how abuse silences witnesses and enablers alike. The father's violence isn't only physical, but also about controlling what people know and believe. While traveling, the twins are attacked by a motorcyclist who destroys their car. He chases them into an abandoned construction site, but they eventually overpower him. They discover he's Ezekiel, Divine's son, trying to stop them from reaching their father. Ezekiel represents intervention without understanding. He tries to stop them, but is still connected to the same broken system of their father's actions. The abandoned construction site symbolizes an incomplete world, or a life still being built but already collapsing. Violence takes place in a space that is literally unfinished. The twins reach their father's current home and meet Angie, his wife, who's trying to escape before he returns. At first, she seems sympathetic, but she becomes angry when they refuse to let her leave. In frustration and humiliation, Racine kills her. Anaia is horrified and begs Racine to stop killing innocent people. Angie represents victims who are still inside the cycle of abuse but trying to escape. Her death shows how trauma can spread outward, affecting people who aren't the original source of violence. Racine crossing this line marks a turning point. She stops seeing violence as targeted justice and starts acting out of pure emotional damage. At the house, the twins meet Riley and Scotch, who think the girls are strippers. The sisters play along to gain access. Anaia reveals she's pregnant, adding another layer of vulnerability and future responsibility. As they dance for the boys, Scotch insults Anaia's appearance. Racine responds by seducing him and then killing him violently. Scotch later dies from his injuries. Riley tries to bond with Anaia, but everything collapses into confusion and violence. He attacks Anaia, and she kills him in self-defense with hedge clippers. This part of the story shows how abuse creates more violence even among the next generation. The sons aren't fully aware of the situation, but they still carry entitlement and aggression learned from their environment. Anaia's pregnancy becomes symbolic of future life trapped inside a cycle of violence. Their father returns. He explains a version of the past where he's less responsible and more justified. He tries to reshape the truth and deny full blame. Anaia is briefly manipulated by him, but Racine returns and interrupts. The twins finally confront him together. The father represents denial and control of narrative. Like many abusers, he reshapes reality to avoid accountability. This moment shows how truth is unstable in the film. Every character has a different version of events, but violence remains the only consistent reality. The sisters push their father into a bathtub, pour alcohol on him, and set him on fire. This mirrors the original fire that destroyed their childhood. But during the attack, he grabs Racine and pulls her into the flames. Both the father and Racine die. Fire is the central symbol of the film. It represents origin, trauma, and repetition. The same violence that created their suffering is used as revenge, completing a cycle rather than ending it. Racine's death suggests that revenge doesn't bring resolution. Instead, it ensures that the trauma continues to take something back. Anaia survives and mourns Racine the next morning. She stands in the ruins of the house, now fully destroyed. She discards her weapon and leaves. She returns home, deciding to raise her baby and tell them about Racine. Anaia represents breaking the cycle, but not escaping its effects. She doesn't become violent like Racine. Instead, she chooses survival and memory. The ending isn't hopeful. It suggests that trauma can't be erased. It can only be carried differently. The story closes where it began, with damage, memory, and the question of what gets passed on. By the end of As God Is, nothing is truly repaired. The past isn't resolved, it's repeated. Racine's path shows what happens when pain turns outward, becoming anger and destruction. Anaia's path shows survival, guilt, and the responsibility of carrying what's left behind. Neither ending feels like victory because the film isn't interested in giving one. Instead, it leaves us with something more uncomfortable. The idea that trauma doesn't end with the people who started it. It spreads, it adapts, and it gets passed on, sometimes as violence, sometimes as silence, and sometimes as memory. In the end, As God Is doesn't ask whether justice was served. It asks whether anything was ever really fixable in the first place. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.